in the alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Sports 56 traffic.
A little bit heavy now over here again on 240 East, trying to get it past Poplar. It thinned out and then it got busy again as traffic starts to crank up down through Midtown. I see heavy traffic flow on 240 southbound, let's say from South Parkway all the way down to Norris as that traffic increases even more in the last 15-20 minutes, not only in the Midtown area but in the construction zone over here. It's running a little bit heavy on 55 going northbound, trying to get up to Crump. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging service right here in the Memphis area. Make it Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time, and plenty of baseball to talk about. I mentioned it earlier. We had one game going on. It was all Rangers, and they had no issues like they did yesterday. Now up 15-2 in the bottom of the sixth. So
who has the 15-run pull?
Man, certainly not me.
Rarely pays out.
Very rarely. And then I guess over the weekend you were looking for someone that had the
old 20-runner.
The 20-run pool with Oakland. So, so that game.
Please tell me you had the over in Rangers A's
I
today.
did not play this game.
Even more, please tell me you didn't have the under.
I did not certainly did not have the under, did not have anything in this game.
10 spot in the second will do it, won't it?
It sure will. And then add on another 4 runs in the fourth inning. I mean, that's brutal.
18 hits, 1 in the first, 10 in the second,
Crazy.
4 in the fourth.
It's crazy.
You should win with that.
Yeah, that'll get her done. I remember when I played baseball growing up, I had a coach that we got into a real bad slump. We weren't a very good team to begin with, but we got into a real bad slump where we weren't scoring runs, and he said, or we'd score like 1 run. He said, you can never win a game just scoring 1 run. Very hard to win a game by just scoring one run. And so he started bribing us to try to get us to score more runs. And
what were the bribes?
Pizza. He would
That's
say
a good bribe.
hey, if you score, I forgot what it was. It was if you
11,
score,
12 years old.
Yeah,
great
I
bribe,
think 12, maybe 12 or 13. And
I think food's a great bribe.
It's great. It's great.
Well, yeah, it really is.
He was I forgot what it was. It was 8 or 9 runs in a game. If we scored that many runs in the game, he was I'll order pizza for us at our next practice, and we'll practice for an hour and a half, and then we'll just eat pizza the rest of the time. We were like, cool. And I tell you what, we scored 9
on the
runs
hitting shoes,
a lot.
huh?
I mean, yeah, it just completely flipped. So you're absolutely right. You score 15 runs, not many times you're going to lose a baseball game.
I had a coach that anytime the other team scored their first run, the standard dugout line from him, hey, guys, get your chin up. It takes 1 to win one.
Exactly. Oh, classic.
One does nothing. You have to get that to win.
Got to score a run. We're not gonna win a game if we can't score a run. Yes, I've heard that many times from that same baseball coach.
Was anything better than going to get the victorious milkshake?
Oh man. Oh great. I mean that the ballpark that we used to always play in for tournaments down in South Haven. Dairy Queen. Yes, Snowden Grove. Dairy Queen right next to it. I mean, go right there after that, get some ice cream after the game. Perfect.
That's Lollapalooza of weekend baseball down there.
Oh, absolutely.
I had a nephew that played travel baseball on a pretty good little team. They were down there, and I went down there, and
oh man,
busier than that beehive in Arizona last week.
Oh, absolutely. A lot going on down there, and they've certainly. I was driving by there last weekend, and they've certainly taken advantage of it for sure. Getting a lot of restaurants and spots down there, but I really like the slate of games we have tonight. Now, one thing I don't like about it, and I found this interesting, and I've talked about it a lot today to various peoples. So we've got one game right now, start at 2:30. Then we have 11 games that start between 5 p.m. and 6:30 p.m.
Central Time.
All
those East Coast time, I promise you, I have it in my notes that I love it.
Really?
For this reason. Get those East Coast games started our time in that 5 to 6:30 window. Brian, we used to. First pitch in St. Louis a lot of times would be 8 o'clock.
Wow. Holy cow.
And East Coast would do. Now, East Coast had a rule, too, that a new inning could not start after midnight.
Interesting.
a lot of times on East Coast.
Interesting.
And especially during the energy crisis
Sure,
days.
sure.
When they were, it was all bogus when we were conserving energy.
Sure.
But I want everything to start a smidge earlier. In individual teams, you control the time.
Right.
You can start at any time.
Right.
If the Orioles wanted their standard starting time to be 6 Eastern, 5 Central, they can.
Yeah.
And with I know not everybody has the ability to work from home or not have, say, kind of the old time we think of jobs of punching a time clock, leaving at night. I know some still do, a lot still do.
Sure.
I respect that. I'm not knocking anything here, but we're not as hindered, married to that as at one time. And used to, we can't start too early because people aren't home from work yet.
Sure. Yeah.
We got to give them time to get home, get cleaned up, and get to the ballpark.
Yeah.
I know there's still some to a lot, but not as much.
Right. Yeah, so a little different. But, man, I kind of like the whole where I can kind of stagger my night of, okay, got the East Coast games and kind of Central Time Zone games starting now, and then here comes, 7:30, another game. I think the Rangers like to do a 7:30 first pitch, and then you've got the West Coast team starting at about anywhere between 8:30 to about 9 o'clock or so. And I can watch the East Coast games, and I've got a whole nother slate of games starting at a little bit later that I can watch.
Here's a good example of you can start anytime you
Sure.
want. The Zany Rays and getting over the bridge. Starting at 50 minutes after the hour.
Love that.
6:50 Eastern, 5:50 Central.
Love that. And then you got the Braves, who every home game they have is 20 minutes after the hour.
It is.
Every
Sure
single
is.
time. So it's a new one. And I remember, what was it, a couple weeks ago on Jackie Robinson Day, where the Mariners went out there and
42.
said we're starting at 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. So yeah, they can play around with it. But man, 6:50 Eastern start. It's an odd start time.
Make
Gotta
it
be honest.
6:30.
I don't know why or at least I understand, some people do the like 40 and but that's 30, but we're gonna start 10 minutes after.
And this is kind of new for the Cardinals while school's still going on.
Sure.
To be at 6:45.
Yeah, that is different. And
Now, Friday night still kind of go, but it used to be much later than that.
Really?
I mean, hurry up and get started.
Wow. Yeah, I like them to kind of get started right around when we're done here, and I can get done, immediately throw on the Cardinals, and that's kind of how my night goes. But some good matchups, I think, tonight. Obviously, curious to see what the Cardinals do. That's more of a fan perspective. But some good series late night. Mariners, Twins. Twins got that win last night. Curious to see what happens in that game tonight. Brewers, Royals was a fun game last night. Will probably be another fun game tonight with two really good pitchers going. Padres,
Used to be
Cubs.
an American League game.
That's right, but not anymore. So some really, really fun matchups, I think, tonight. Hopefully we won't see a ton of 15-4 ball games like we're seeing right now in Oakland, as the A's just tacked on 2 runs to make it 15-4. How about that?
We were talking about this earlier. You were busy. I was talking, I lamented about it on the air. I want to, and I think I do, like Chip Carey.
Okay, yeah.
And I want to. I hear he's
Sure.
a great guy. But he's drawn 2 tough years because you were in here. We did talk about it.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Because he's the guy now that I associate with being the announcer
Sure.
of a year and into a second year of the worst Cardinal chapter ever.
Yeah.
And it's going to really take a slide this year. Because don't you have to start thinking now about dealing Arenado and Goldschmidt and seeing how, and you got to get a lot for them. You can't give them away, but you've got to deal them.
I think you have to, because I think, or at least think about it. Not saying you have to do it, but I think you have to at least do it.
They're not
or
in any
think about it.
contention.
Because, you just saw the Marlins last year in contention. There was a lot of playoff talk. It felt like they were going in the right direction. This year has been complete opposite. And Arias, they've already dealt him to San Diego. So I think you got to at least look at it. I know people are going to hate hearing that, but I think you at least got to listen to offers and see what's out there.
Does it get bad enough at deadline time and you're really way out, you've already dealt Arenado and Goldschmidt, that you consider Sonny Gray?
Oh, man. It could.
It could.
Because I think going into this year, I think the idea, especially from the front office, which we can talk about changes on the field, I think we need to talk about changes in the front office. But
the big broom.
Yes, I think the ideas from them were, okay, bad season, but we like the pieces we have. We're going to add some pieces, and this year we're going to be back contending. Well, that's clearly not the idea anymore. It can't be. And so I think you have to start making moves of this is going to be a long-term kind of rebuild.
This is conversation I've never been a part of since being on these airwaves. I'm not saying the Cardinals are good every single year, but okay, you're good enough that you have that dip the next year. You don't freak. It's freak time.
Yeah.
It's been that way. And even the late 70s, not a great manager. The Brewery really didn't want to spend because at that time in free agency, they didn't want to make other teams mad because of the beer war of Miller and Budweiser in the 70s. And they didn't want to make, Philadelphia mad going after Mike Schmidt in free agency or Pete Rose. Pete Rose was a great example of it. The Cardinals really never got in the bidding for Pete Rose because they wanted those ballparks selling Budweiser and didn't want to make them mad, and kind of took a powder on player personnel and had a good young core in Keith Hernandez and Gary Templeton and a couple others.
Interesting.
Bob Force, good pitcher.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you got to at least think about some moves. And
I don't know that they don't have that core.
They don't. They're what core?
I think Mason Wynn's good.
I think Mason Wynn's good, but certainly still.
But he's not even where on the field Gary Templeton was then.
Right. So it's gonna be interesting. But I'm kind of with you. I think you got to start thinking about that and kind of looking at what some offers are out there for those big-time guys. And, I think Sonny Gray's probably in that mix as well. Even though you just got him, you got to listen and try
Cardinals
to
had Ted Simmons at that time with the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't know. It's going to get ugly, I think. It's going to get worse before it gets better, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This Mother's Day, let's celebrate the woman who held our scraped knees, cheered our victories, and nurtured our dreams, and show her the love she deserves. Of course, there's no single gift that can truly express the depths of our love, but this Mother's Day at Genesis Diamonds, we'll help you find something truly special. From sparkling diamonds to timeless pearls to colored gemstones, we have it all. And the trusted experts at Genesis are here to help you find the perfect piece that helps you say, "Thank you, Mom." It's a perfect time to see the amazing collection of exclusive and acclaimed jewelry designers at Genesis, like Gabriel & Company, Shy Creation, Tacori, A. Jaffe, Simon G., and more. You can find all the mothers in your life something unique, handcrafted and beautiful. Jewelry she can wear and appreciate every day. Mom deserves the best. Let us help make this Mother's Day truly unforgettable with something affordable yet timeless. Happy Mother's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Progressive presents 10 things on a plumber's to-do list that are harder than getting a small business insurance quote. Waking up for 5 a.m. plumbing disasters, finding out why water is pouring from the ceiling, replacing a pipe in a home from the 1800s, then dealing with invoices or your awkward apprentice or that really weird smell, and then there's breathing and eating and, of course, clogs. But the easiest thing on any small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you could save on the business insurance that's right for you. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
I could go with a couple different big numbers today, but I will go with the number 20. Why not? This one is a basketball big number. It has to do with the New York Knicks. In the New York Knicks Game 1 victory over Indiana, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo became the first teammates who attended the same college to each score 20-plus points in an NBA playoff game. I mean, I know...
Makes it even better for the Knicks. They got them from Philadelphia.
Oh, absolutely. And I know there's been so much made of about this Villanova trio, but it really is incredible what they're doing.
Were they together at Villanova?
DiVincenzo
Brunson was ahead of...
were there together.
Were they? Okay.
Because I believe they were teammates. Or I think they roomed together. They lived together.
If I'm not
National
mistaken.
champions.
Mm-hmm. So I think they were together. I don't think Josh Hart
Did they all play with...
that was Jay Wright's second championship, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Did they all play with Mikal Bridges? Because Mikal went there as well, and Mikal won a chip. So I don't know if
he
they
was
all...
a little before that. I was at that Final Four that they won.
Were you really?
In San Antonio.
Wow, how about that? I'm looking it up.
That DiVincenzo was MOP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Arcidiacono was MOP of the first one for Jay Wright.
Yeah, he was the one for the first one.
Brunson.
And Ed Pinckney in 85, MOP.
Brunson was there from 2015 to 2018. Josh Hart was there. At the same time, he was there from 2013 to 2017. And then
they won in 18 in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm. And then DiVincenzo was there from 15 to 18. So, yeah, all three of them played together. Well, yeah, all three of them played together.
Crossed over.
How about that? Yeah. So, Josh Hart, the only one with one national championship.
And they booed him lustily in Philly.
Sure did.
Loved him at one time.
Sure did. But yeah,
Palestra days are over.
Different
Big 5 days.
Different stakes when you're playing for the Knicks.
It is. My big number is 84. That's the number of career games played in the postseason for Mike Conley. His first, that Sunday afternoon win in San Antonio with the Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah.
That started that 8-over-1 run that year. He's 43-41 all-time in playoff games and has started every one.
That's crazy. That's incredible. I mean, just what he's doing is just so much fun to watch.
We will really embrace that Mike Conley angle next round on.
Sure.
And I hope you enjoy it. But it a little bit bittersweet because we wanted that here. We want one before them.
But I do think everyone will embrace it because Mike Conley was just so good to the city.
If nothing else, the broken face game.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I think people will rally around him and hope that he wins
night
it.
at the arena, playoff game, place just stoked, and he, just looked terrible. I mean, it would scare people how he looked. And they were being very careful with him, for how tender and sore you could be. And so they bring him into the arena and put him in that box that the team kind of controls in that corner behind the bench of the lower level boxes. And crowd already hyped. And Rob texted me, said, roof's getting ready to go. And they showed a picture of him in that box, and he's like waving a towel.
That's awesome.
Place went crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. That was a fun time.
It was.
Probably not for him because his face was probably hurting very much, but
a broken face.
Yeah, it's not fun. No, it's not fun at all.
And that's when, and I ask it unknowing. I didn't know it, and caught 8 kinds of it on our good friends on the text line.
Sure.
That's when I proposed, send him out there in a football helmet to protect him. And you can't.
Right.
That's too. There are certain guidelines for it.
Sure. But yes, the mask game, and oh man, that was a
send
fun
him out
time.
in a Tiger football helmet with the 901 logo on the side.
I love it.
But you can't, because that would be used as a weapon against the other. I mean, he could harm someone else on that.
Absolutely. Send him out in a hockey helmet.
Yeah.
A little small.
But that contraption he had on.
Oh man.
To try to play in.
Oh man.
And he took a shot right. Ooh.
He did.
Ooh.
He sure did.
Is the face mask that Mike Conley had, wasn't it similar to what Rip Hamilton used to wear? Is it something similar?
Hamilton would wear it even after the years of being injured.
Yeah.
It was standard operating for him after that.
Mike Conley, not the same. He said, when I'm done with it, I'm getting rid of it. Probably, I mean.
That's very impressive, though. That series, he became my favorite Grizzly.
I think became it for a lot of people. I think a lot of people
didn't knock me off Zebo. All-time favorite player.
Hey,
you know, when you talk about those 4, I mean, it's hard.
Man, it's hard to pick, but when he did that for that series, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is my guy.
It is hard to pick one. So it's fun. I do hope he continues to have the success and maybe finds a way to continue to win games, and who knows, maybe even get to a ring, as bittersweet as that may be. Well, we need to go ahead and wrap up this hour, get to a break. When we come back, we're talking NFL with Bo Marchant.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
The good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment and get yours while supplies last. The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Extraordinary events come once in a blue moon, and right now, even the most extravagant luxuries are well within reach. The one and only May sale is back at Sissy's Log Cabin, and you can save up to 50% on nearly everything in the store. This is your chance to get the service, selection, and experience that makes you feel like family at the best prices of the year, guaranteed. Don't miss the one and only May sale at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year. At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch and Collierville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshots' 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish it in 12 minutes and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Collierville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's still pretty saturated with a lot of volume over here on 240 East as you come past Bill Morris Parkway 385, working your way up towards Poplar. Again, that's just that time of day for it to get heavy, and it is. It's also picked up with more volume trying to slide out of Midtown on 240 southbound as you come from Union all the way down to Norris. I'm looking over here live right now at the construction zone, and that's starting to run slow again on 55 North between South Parkway and Macklemore. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your Mother's Day headquarters, especially for last-minute shopping. Go by and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now like he does every single Tuesday afternoon to talk the NFL. Bo, thanks so much for joining us. Brett and I were just discussing it. I believe we have this right. We will get a schedule reveal on Thursday for this upcoming NFL season. And if that is right, what do you expect to see once we get that?
Well, we'll probably get a rematch of the Super Bowl. I assume that's probably looming. Yeah. I don't know what to expect. I was looking at the Steelers' home schedule. That looks pretty good. And, that's kind of usually my curious part of some of the teams that are going to come into Acrisure Stadium and some of the players that I've never seen, or some of the players I've seen before that I get to see again. I just know when, Brett Favre was playing, or Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, those type of iconic guys, I always got excited knowing that those guys were going to come through Heinz Field at the time, and I was going to say, hey, I got to see those guys play. So, but there's some more. I think the Texans, I could be wrong, but, C. Stroud is an NFL guy, and I could be totally wrong, but I want to say that they're coming. But nonetheless, those are some of the things that I pay most attention to when the schedule comes out.
Yeah, the opponents are known. We're just waiting for dates and some times. And, of course, we know the flex aspect, especially later in the year, and I don't blame them for it because it's really big money. I'm seeing this now at a credible Twitter site that covers all things NFL scheduling related, for what it's worth, and I think it's pretty credible. NFL schedule now expected to be released on Tuesday, May 14th, week from today. The complication has been figuring out how to work around this year's Christmas games, which are being held on a Wednesday. Teams are expecting to receive the schedules on Sunday, the 12th, though there is still a possibility that the release could even be pushed back until next Thursday, May 16th.
Wow.
And they know, Bo, when they give it to the teams, here comes the leaks.
Right. You're exactly right. And most of the time, anything that's leaked wants to be leaked in some way.
Almost always, even scheduling related. Any reporter that league sources tell me the Steelers will open opening Sunday afternoon against X, it's been fed to him by media relations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's nobody, and exactly right.
That's
There's
the
nobody
league
at
source.
headquarters. Exactly right.
Bo, I just saw this a couple minutes ago, and I think it came out within the last hour, but Rashee Rice, who we've already talked about this year with that motor vehicle incident in Dallas back about a month ago or so, where he was involved in the hit and run and just kind of fled after that, got out of his car and ran off. Now it looks like he is under investigation for allegedly hitting a photographer at a club in Dallas Monday night. This is certainly a bad offseason with all of these off-the-field situations for him. What does this mean for his future with the Chiefs and with the NFL?
Well, I guess you got to go through the court system or however that breaks. I saw it too, and I have no idea what went on. We often see incidents with players and others, and we don't know if it's a true act of violence and discretion, or it's somebody, hoping to get a little coin in their pocket. So, let the system play out and we'll find out where it goes. But if there is any credence to those allegations, you got to think, what happened with this young man? Why is he kind of going off the rail a little bit? And especially after the high-speed incident, you think he would be really, really kind of honing in on staying away from any adversity, anything that could cause him harm or playing time. Because we know, the things I've read most about this Rashee Rice thing are the people going to sue for money and all those types of things. So it's not going to be light. And they know he has it, and he's going to be needing to chase that paycheck to kind of keep those, hawks off his back. And, doing what he's doing, he might not be getting game checks. And I assume he'll miss time. And if this comes down, you just figure, Roger Goodell is going to look at these incidents combined, if they're true, and then kind of go from there. And you're going to have a little bit more of if you're the Chiefs and you're Rashee Rice, you're going to have a lot more of a headache on the horizon than what you would have had rather if this didn't happen. But nonetheless, he's a key ingredient. Mm-hmm. He became the go-to guy. We know Kelsey's the guy, but he became the go-to receiver, rookie season. The kid looks phenomenal. And you just hope he gets his head on straight. This is the last we hear of it, and we see a Pro Bowl career. But we're starting to see a guy that looked on so much promise, got a Super Bowl ring, was dynamic, and lo and behold, now we see what's going to go on. So, we'll see.
He's about to blow it all. We got to remember last year, we just concentrate on how it ended, and it ended very gloriously again for Kansas City. But there was a stretch late in the year that Patrick Mahomes couldn't get anybody that could consistently catch the ball.
Yeah, it was. And I remember I did some numbers on that, and it was almost bizarre. Like, his completion percentage was like, this is off the top of my head. I remember the numbers at the time. But it was like 66.4. And last year at the same time, when all this was going on, it was like 66.1. The drops were there, but I think the reason we talked so much was Tyreek Hill was no longer there. The balls that were being dropped were critical passes, critical big play balls that could change the game that the Chiefs desperately needed. Not oftentimes do we worry in the first quarter, just hypothetically, if Kenny Pickett drops back and there's an incompletion to Najee Harris. But it's late in the game. It's the Monday night game, and all eyes are on the NFL. And Mahomes drops back, and Marquise Valdes-Scantling, drops a critical ball. There was a lot said. I do think it was a little overhyped. I think if people would kind of dive inside the numbers, it wasn't as bad as it was kind of perceived. But nonetheless, they did have to kind of just spruce up the receiving core and add some weapons. Sky Moore never made it. Kadarius Toney, they acquired from the Giants, never panned out. So they're still kind of trying to find a solid group to build around Kelsey. And Rice is that guy. You got to hope Xavier Worthy pans out and Rice is on the field. With those three and the additions that they have in Jared Wiley, the tight end, you kind of think the Chiefs should be not maybe as high-powered they were with Tyreek Hill, but somewhat high-powered that we're accustomed to seeing in Kansas City with Mahomes.
What really rocked people and nerve people, you're right about the percentages. It wasn't that big a difference, but Mahomes' reaction to it, those sideline pictures of him kind of being very un-Patrick Mahomes, throwing his helmet, gesticulating wildly, kind of into it with some of the players on his own bench, we had just never seen that from him. But it ended
well for
him.
Yeah. Well, because the offense was struggling. I think there's a lot of other things that went into that. And as Mahomes was trying to do what he does best, is make big passes, those big-time catches that were often made, those were the ones that were being dropped. And I think it's kind of like Ernest Biner's fumble. Ernest Biner's known as the guy that made the fumble in Cleveland, but people forget he went on to win a Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins and had a heck of a career as a player. But, sometimes we get caught, and I do think that was part of the frustration because the Chiefs were in tight games. They weren't winning 45-10. They weren't winning 55-3. They were in battles, 23-20, and they need to get a field goal to tie the game. And then you get the drop pass. You got to hope the defense bails you out. Get the ball back. Go back down the field. Another drop pass. I think that's why the frustration was there out of Mahomes and out of the whole team. I mean, that offense was not the offense that we've been accustomed to seeing kind of during their dynasty or the beginning of the dynasty. It's been a crazy amount of points. Remember, I think it was the Thursday night game when Jared Goff and the young high-powered Rams played the Chiefs, and Mahomes was like a baby. And what was that final? Like, 53-48. It was crazy. Almost 100 points scored between the two teams. So I think that's what we get caught up in seeing.
Bo, everybody kind of going down memory lane with the dynasty of the Patriots with the Tom Brady roast. I haven't seen it. Everybody has seen it, said it was great and funny and really ribald, no holes barred. Everybody in play to catch and receive a lot of barbs. One of the things about the Patriot dynasty that I think Patriot fans and most NFL observers appreciate, but the role that Adam Vinatieri played in it, I think he will. I think he should go to the Hall of Fame. You mentioned those Chiefs close calls this year, and that was with the leg, Harrison Butker. And Saturday, I saw former University of Memphis kicker and great player, and he could make a case as well, Stephen Gostkowski. We got to have more kickers in Canton, Bo.
Well, we might. I think Vinatieri will be a Hall of Fame kicker. The Patriots, the kick in the snow that propelled them in the AFC Championship to get to their first Super Bowl against the Rams and win as an underdog. Those are all, and then Vinatieri is critical of that day too. So I think he's maybe not a first ballot, but he could be. And we saw Devin Hester get in. We saw Morton Anderson get in a couple of years ago. So I think they're trending. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're trending in that direction, trying to include as many of these
Justin Tucker
guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is. Even Mark Gesco, the special teams guys. These guys are great at what they do, and they're critical parts. And I know it's fun to put all the skill guys in, but there is a little bit of a being the best at your position. That's why I wanted to see Devin Hester get in, because he was the best that we've seen at that position. James Lofton was good, but I don't think anyone ever thought James Lofton was, the best receiver in the league. He's had a long career, but, those types of guys where you're like, wow, that's great. Even Frank Gore, he was good, great maybe a little bit, but, we want to pay him that homage by lineage. And maybe that's part of it too, lineage. But, I look at it were these the best guys? That 3-year window, as I kind of look at guys, like this was the best player at the position during this particular time. And I think if you can say that amongst all the greats that are currently playing, while these guys are in their heyday, that's how I at least look at it. I think if you're just an average Joe with amongst the best, but you played a long time, and you play these skill positions. I know we talk about Phillip Rivers, we talk about Matt Ryan. Like I put Phillip. Like Matt Ryan to me is just a modern day good quarterback. That's it. He's a good quarterback in today's age, where every quarterback that retires from now till the time that I'm way gone are going to have 50 plus passing yards, 200 some touchdowns.
Especially if you have Julio Jones.
Yeah, you have Julio Jones and Roddy White. I mean, those guys were hammers, and it's a different league. I never thought that the 55,000 Marino had growing up, I never thought I would see anyone surpass it.
Not close.
And it's like a garbage statistic now.
Blown through.
It's bizarre to think how much it's changed.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We're talking to Bo Marchant. He joins us every single week to talk the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. found himself a new home in Miami earlier this week. He signed a 1-year deal with the Dolphins. How much of an impact can he make down there? It feels like we're seeing the end of his career, the last couple of years of his career. What kind of impact can he make down there with the Dolphins and with Tua?
I think it's a minimum equation. I know the money was there a little bit. You didn't get anywhere close to the money Baltimore played him. I mean, he's a guy. I think maybe if they have some guys show up at camp, he could be a camp casualty. I think that I guess is how much I don't think of a bit. LJ, we're all living off that catch he made, kind of like the Jadeveon Clowney fumble and against Michigan where he sack, fumble, recovery. Listen, Beckham had that window. He did. He had that 3-year window where he was super, and he's kind of fallen off, and it's just part of age and father time and just the way the cookie crumbles. So I wouldn't imagine much of an impact. I think if anything, he could have a few shining moments because you got Jalen Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill, so you have these hammers and that backfield they have, even with the addition of Jalen Wright. I mean, wow. I mean, we're going to have a lot of ways to come at you. So I think there will be times that we do talk during the season where we say he came up with a big catch and a big play, but I think the overall season, 17 weeks or 18 weeks, 17 games, I think his impact is going to be very, very minimal.
With a less than stellar year this year at quarterback, could we be talking about Joe Burrow this time next year, almost in that same, it was in the past for like Odell Beckham Jr. we just talked about?
I would hate to see that, Brett, just because I think if that does happen, it's because he gets injured. I'll absent Mahomes, if I was going to start a franchise, I might be a little bit hesitant now because he's been so injury riddled over the last few years. But I still think Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback prospect in the National Football League. I would still.
Who's your other guy? Mine would be C.J. Stroud.
I would take Stroud. Yeah, I would go Mahomes, Burrow, Stroud, and then probably Josh Allen right now. And that's off the top of my head, but I do agree with you on Stroud. I think the way he played, just phenomenal. And I will say this. If Stroud stays healthy and Burrow can stay healthy, I think next year at this time, it'll be a real debate where my mind goes. I might flip and think Stroud's that next great young prospect. And if Burrow,
I take Trevor Lawrence over Allen.
Wow.
Ooh, Trevor Lawrence?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I tell you. Yeah, see, you know what? I wasn't high on Lawrence coming out, and I just, to me, he's never just shown that. I mean, and maybe it's because of sometimes it's the hype that these guys coming out. They said he was a once-in-a-generation quarterback, and his high school tape was so phenomenal in his collegiate career at Clemson, was so clean. And I still think Jacksonville's they know what they have, but I think when they go to bed at night, I think the front offices wish there's a little bit more, a lot left in the pot than, half full, half empty type thing. I think they're hoping that he becomes a Joe Burrow, a Mahomes, a Herbert, a Josh Allen. And right now, Brett, I might even take Jordan Love over Trevor Lawrence. And I'm not exactly in love with Love, but that's, I guess, how much I still question.
I was from December on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was tough. And there was a lot of times Love looked really bad last year, but that was his rookie season in a nutshell.
When it clicked,
it
clicked.
Sure did. It clicked, and I was very harsh. I wrote a lot of stories where if you went back and looked, I was already calling for his head and get him out of town, and that's why I don't like to jump too quick to conclusions and write these guys off, because now the kid looks like a really, really solid young prospect. And I was already, I wouldn't, not that you're going to fire your quarterback in a year, but, I'm like, wow, this kid stinks. But he's far from that. Right now, Murphy and the front office of Green Bay, they look pretty smart doing what they did a couple of years ago when Rodgers was on the tail end of where he was and they drafted Love.
Yeah. Bo, the Steelers declined to pick up Najee Harris's fifth-year option. There's now been a lot of conversation, rumors about maybe the possibility of a trade where Najee Harris could end up. The Steelers say that they, could potentially re-sign Harris after the season, but they want to see how he fits inside the offense with new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith coming in. What does this season look like for Najee Harris, and will he be back, I guess, a year from now with the Steelers, or do you think that's going to come to an end pretty soon?
I do think it's a one-year season for Najee Harris, and the way that I say this is, and it's kind of like when James Conner was with the Steelers prior to him going to Arizona. He was coming up on free agency. Mm-hmm. If Najee Harris knocks it out of the ballpark, and he was one of the biggest voices during the Barkley and Josh Jacobs episodes when the running backs weren't getting paid. He was out front, kind of, hand in hand, leading the way of saying, hey, we need to get paid. So I know in the back of his mind that he wants to get paid. And if he has a season that deserves that type of money, I don't think the Steelers are going to offer that up, and then it's going to go to the point where another team's going to be they're going to want to sign Najee Harris. On the flip side, if he's kind of done what he's done, and everyone says, oh, he's had three 1,000-yard seasons, that's great. But we're playing a 17-game schedule, 16 the first time. I like to say that he's kind of like a big pickup truck, and Jaylen Warren is that same guy, but. Miles per gallon, Najee, you're filling up the gas tank. It's costing you $81 and you're getting 30 miles out of them.
Yeah.
Jaylen Warren, you're filling up the gas tank for $50 and you're getting 70 miles out of them. I mean, what would you rather drive? If you're not, if you don't need a truck, it's just simple math for me.
Save money
and,
every time.
Yeah, save money. And listen, when you go to Latrobe and you watch practice and the media has to kind of get off the field and we're going to lunch and they're doing their thing, the one guy that you see, one of the last players off that practice field is Najee Harris. His character, his dedication, it is maybe the production is not as lofty as we might expect or what he would expect. But if he turns it on, I still think success in an incredible way, the Steelers won't be able to afford him, and the lack of that incredible success will kind of throw some shade at him, if you will, where, the Steelers aren't going to want to invest big money in him. So I just think it's kind of the James Conner, but he's a fantastic, fantastic team-oriented guy. I know Jaylen Warren, when he was undrafted, Najee took him under his wing, and Jaylen told me, he set him up with massage people to get his body correct. He told him certain things, where to go, little tips, and, he really took this undrafted running back out of Oklahoma State and nurtured him and really showed him the way to kind of get things done. And this was Najee's only second season. So he already had that character of leader. And I know he's a Tomlin guy. Tomlin loves him. Mm-hmm. He runs hard. I'm never going to question the way the guy runs the football, but it's just that production, those big, big runs, it's just not there for him.
And he's caught potentially, maybe, the worst quarterback play in 50 years for the Steelers that he's got to run behind.
Yeah, he has. It didn't work out for him. He didn't arrive in Pittsburgh at the perfect time. Maybe right off the heels of Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown and Juju and Ben were all doing their thing, he probably would have stepped in and really put up those Le'Veon-type Bell numbers. And I think that's what expected when they took him in the first round. You're thinking, wow, Le'Veon Bell was just here and he had this monster production. But the line's been, they brought in all these old linemen over the last couple seasons. Mason Cole's already gone. They drafted 2 linemen with their first top picks. That just shows you that they knew this was an area in need. So the best case scenario for Najee is he plays lights out. The Steelers go deep into the playoffs. And then if he decides he could somehow get the money and a hometown discount in Pittsburgh, maybe he stays. But I still think he's a guy that a lot of teams will covet because of the way he plays, the way he carries himself. I don't think you're going to be able to say that he's a guy that a team wouldn't want in their locker room. So, but I still think that them not signing in, I always say this to everybody, when you don't have good news, you always wait to the last minute. And the longer this took, you saw all these other teams kind of signing these fifth-year options, and it would have got down to Thursday, and you were still waiting. I just thought the writing was on the wall that they're not going to make this guy wait. They got rid of Mason Cole early in free agency so he could have the opportunity to not get skipped over, and a team could find him and he could find a new home if that was the case. And I think if they knew that they were going to do this for Najee, I think they would have did it so he doesn't have to just kind of have a sleepless night and wonder what direction his life may be going after this 2024 season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Bo, thanks so much, as always, for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
Stay safe, gentlemen. Thank you always.
Thank you. Bo Marchant talking the NFL with us every single week. And this Sunday, it's not every week, it's once a year. But you need to tell Mom you love her year-round, and the perfect way to do it for this week and for the holiday is with that Gould's gift card. I know a lot of people, they don't need a special day from Hallmark on the calendar to tell Mom how much she is appreciated or someone special in your life. But this week we do it, and we do it for Mom, and we can do it with that Gould's gift card. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com for any holiday, for any event. Even when it's not a holiday, you can go there and get that special card to make them feel so good, a commitment to providing a unique fashion-forward experience. That's what they've done for 92 years with distinction. Over 300 area associates, making our area feel so good. It started in 1932. Mr. Sam Gould had a dream to provide his clientele with a truly professional and unique fashion experience, and it's been realized in such a great way. A family operation, sons and grandsons and granddaughters, invaluable associates, from the small hair salon to today's juggernaut, upscale ambiance, that chic style that once was considered just a Hollywood luxury. We have it now here in so many areas, all the different locations, never one far from wherever you are in our area, from downtown to Collierville, all points in between. And at the website, that's where you get that Gould's gift card. That's easy shopping. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com. And it's exclusive to our area. It's the best holiday gift for any season. It's that Gould's gift card, the best spa packages, salon products, and those gift cards, they're the hit. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com.
Well, we need to get to a break, so let's go ahead and take that. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SAVE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SAVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SAVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The 36th Annual John Bull Bramlett Memorial Golf Classic is Tuesday, May 28th. This summer, Great Memphis Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or FCA, will have over 1,000 student athletes and coaches participating in camps. The funds raised from this golf tournament help send athletes to camp where they learn more about their sport as well as learning leadership skills while hearing the gospel of Jesus. For registration and sponsorship information, please visit memphisfca.org or email memphisfca@fca.org.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We've got this crash over to the side. It's over here on 40 westbound just before you get to Danny Thomas as that traffic slows down even more. It's just so heavy over here on 240 east up by Poplar. It's just normal. It's become the new norm now. Traffic's on the increase also on 40 going eastbound, let's say from Sycamore View Road all the way on past Germantown Parkway. Still looks good as you continue on out into Fayette County. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. We got a little less than 30 minutes left in today's show, and today's Brett's favorite day. He hadn't even mentioned anything about it, which I'm kind of, Johnny, it's almost like he didn't want us to be excited with him.
Over what?
It's the NHL Draft Lottery Day, Brett. I mean,
it is.
My favorite day of the year for you.
How'd I miss it? I had it as the NBA yesterday being today because it used to be on this day.
Johnny, you probably didn't see this, but while we were talking to Bo, they did a little promo for it while Sports Center was on, and they were like, next, the NHL Draft Lottery.
Ping pong balls everywhere.
And there were ping pong balls going, and Brett pointed over to it and goes, huh. And I was like, I love that. I love that. It just
where are
sneaks
your
up on
Kraken
him.
draft?
They are, what is that, 8th or something like that, I think.
They were 8
but hey, that's.
Did you see Utah in the graphic?
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. No,
it's
I did
official.
not see that. It's official.
Yote fans.
Yeah, welcome to Utah. So that's fun.
It's been official.
It's been official, unfortunately.
Do they have a name in Utah?
I don't know if they got a name or not. I think they're just Utah right now because I think kind of similar to Oakland with their move to Sacramento. I think they're trying to figure out, do they want to start off first year with a name or do they just want to be like Salt Lake City Hockey Club and then figure out a name down the road.
Never been, but I'm told Salt Lake City, Park City, boom town.
Sure, yeah.
That really what kicked it off. Always good, always growing, but the Olympics in 2002 that was the accelerant since then. And I'll tell you who told me. I'm not trying to name drop, but I'll tell you who told me.
Who's that?
It's where Jackson Dart is from.
Oh, really?
And his parents talk about it, and the boom time has been very good to them.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Huh, interesting. So now I guess they have a hockey team, and I guess that's good for them.
And forever. If you were in group sales with the Utah Jazz, professionally, you had the place to yourself.
Sure.
Now here comes hockey.
Here comes hockey, and I'm sure, who knows?
At the time of year you play.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You don't mind it too bad like in St. Louis. If you're the Cardinals, you got the Blues. Well, that's
sure.
It's not really in
different times.
Really going against them anyway, and different times.
Sure.
But right in your lap, you will.
No, absolutely. So that'll be interesting to see. First year for Utah.
I would say to anybody that wants to go out there and get in the sales department of any major league team, go to the Padres.
Oh, yeah.
Any competition.
Got it. All to themselves.
Nominal college.
Yeah, that's true. It's really true. So, that's a really good point. I'm curious, Brett. I started with Bo talking once we talked about schedules for a second, but I brought up the story that's just come out in the last hour or so about Rashee Rice. Obviously, we talked
about to blow his career.
He really is. I mean, we talked a lot about him a couple months ago when that just horrific scene happened down in Dallas when him and someone else were racing. That's not close
to resolution.
No, not anywhere close. But now to have this only about a month later, where it looks like from all accounts he was at a club and a photographer, I guess, came up trying to snap pictures of him.
Paparazzi?
Sure, that's what it looks like. And
who knew?
Yeah, struck the photographer. And
what town? Where?
I think also in Dallas. Yeah, at Dallas Club early Monday.
Paparazzi in Dallas?
Okay. Hitting or at least a photographer. Who knows if it was paparazzi?
Everybody's a photographer now.
That's very true.
Hey, Brett, you are very true about that. Yes. Everybody's a photographer.
Everything's captured on video, too.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, anytime.
No,
including now, Johnny. We're
that's
watching.
True. Yeah, all the time. All the time. So, I mean, not good. I mean, who would have thought that after we talked about the season and kind of the blossoming of what could be a really good piece for the Kansas City Chiefs ended really well.
Choppy for a lot of the year, as I alluded to with Bo.
Right.
That Mahomes come apart, Christmas night, come apart was something to see of him kind of panicked and frenzied, and they get it all together.
Of course.
Caught everything in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now how will that affect them? Because I don't think anybody's talking about them winning it again, are they?
No, I don't think so.
Who wants to get out there with that prediction?
Not me. I think they were lucky last year, and so I think we're starting to see the end of that. But
they have him.
They have. Oh, absolutely. I think as long as
they have Andy Reid.
I think as long as you've got their big three and a quarterback, a coach, and a certain tight end, I think you make yourself pretty competitive.
And it just hadn't been tidy since the end of the year for Kansas City. The horrible events of the parade, the snow people, the amputations,
amputation people,
the police trouble. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Stadium issue.
Oh man, that's another really good one.
Voters voted no.
It's been a really bad offseason for the Chiefs. I mean, if you can take away from right start after you win it all, it's been downhill ever since then.
I don't want to. Certainly, the most important were people harmed.
Oh, absolutely.
At the celebration and the people involved in the vehicular accident with this player. So I shouldn't even try to be funny here. But if I'm that guy, and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to celebrate the Super Bowl from the previous year with the Chiefs, and I look down and I have 9 toes from it.
I mean,
I don't know how much I could enjoy that.
No, it probably takes a little bit of the fun
I lost
away
a toe
from
for my team.
Yeah, I don't have that toe there anymore. Yeah, but hey, at least they won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
I say about all that. Good Lord gave me 10 for a reason. I want to keep them all.
Do you need all 10 of your toes though?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
For balance.
Huh. Interesting.
I want everything that I came with.
I want to leave with it too.
Explain all that stuff. Oh, you don't need that. I'm gonna keep it. I want to keep it.
Brett, I want to leave with it too. Everything.
I do too, Johnny.
I would like to at least try, but yeah, it's not been good.
No,
not been good
it's been choppy.
Yeah, it really has. But definitely didn't like that news, and I guess we get any more information.
We'll
definitely
build
pass it
to a
along.
little. You're seeing teams in some OTA team events.
Yeah.
All voluntary at this point, but it will build to getting there. I'm surprised the schedule news kicked back to maybe this time a week from today, or maybe even Thursday of next week.
A week from Thursday. That is crazy. I did not expect that because I think we were, even when we started talking about it, we were under the assumption that Thursday night, and then you kind of dropped that news on us. You also brought up something that I thought was really interesting, and we've seen it on SportsCenter. They've been showing clips of it, but Joe Burrow back out with the Bengals today, coming off of that wrist injury from last year. He says that
we saw him full sweat after practice.
It sure did, and he said, still a lot, a lot to go, but said it's getting there, it's getting better. And it's really a shame that we've had to go through this kind of start of his career. When he's on the field and healthy, he's great. He's unbelievable.
When he's in there.
But the problem is he's not been able to stay out there really his entire professional career.
They've never had a great line in front of him. Now, they've had some real changes in it since last year with some free agent stuff. And he's vulnerable.
Yeah, he is. And, it's just risky, and it makes you worry about him because, like you